Hi everyone. I'm sure that those of you who watch my videos regularly recognize these. These are a bunch of leaf shapes that I had cut out from scraps and wanted to use them in several projects, and believe it or not, I thought of something else that I could use them for. So today I'm going to show you that in another video on an altered book page. So these are going to go back in the box, and I'm going to show you the page that I'm going to use. I'm really excited about this. Okay. So here's the page I'm going to do in my altered book. This one started with rolling off my brayer to clean it after I had used it on the jelly plate. Then I just used up paint from other projects through stencils and created just a whole lot of dimension and texture on these pages. And I used bubble wrap, and then later, I got several coats of stenciling on. When I got ready to use it for this page, I thought it was a little bit too dark and busy, so I added a little bit of a white to tone it down, and then I added some white paint dots using a piece of this shelf liner, and so that's just a fun way to add some more added texture to your projects. Anyway, I think it's ready now to do what I want to do, except I want to add a little bit more to the background. You might remember when I was gluing these little rubber gaskets to just a piece of foam core board to use as a stamp. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to use some purple paint. Sorry, ink. Purple ink. And I'm just going to put some dark circle areas. So it'll kind of tie in with all these little dots, the circle will, but they'll be open circles. So let's see what we can do here. There we go. That's fine. And you can see them. And they, kind of stand out a little because they're dark. I actually might put something under the page to make it a little bit sturdier. Let's see if that'll help me get a good impression. I'm going to have a little bit of mess here, so I don't want to get it on my cutting board. Oh yeah, that's much nicer. All right, so I like that. So that just gives a little bit more texture and fun going on. And I'm also going to add some little bits of paper that I stamped on with some green inks. And I just kind of tore them up, and I'm just going to add them here and there on the page. And I bet you're wondering why I stopped at 4, because I typically do odd numbers. But I do have another piece that I'm going to add here, which will help to spread the white areas around the page. And now that these are stuck on, you see that they look like they're pieces that have just been stuck on a page. And so I want to blend them into the background just a little bit. So I'm going to use a little bit of paint. This just happens to be some distress paint by Tim Holtz, but any kind of paint or inks or anything will work for this technique. So I'm just going to put a little bit here and there just to kind of help tie them in. I don't want to cover all the white, but I do want to have just a little bit of color there so that it looks like they blend into the page more. I'm also adding just a little bit of pink. That's really watered down, very watered down pink. Just tying it back into the page a little bit. Okay. I'm just adding the rest of this paint. This is what I do, just add the rest of it onto another page. And that's how I build up all these pages. And then I can come back and add stuff to them like I'm doing today. Putting a couple more circles to help tie those in. You know, they look like they're part of the page. So as I'm sure that you saw from the title of the video, I'm going to be making some dragonflies with my little leaf shapes. I did take them and trim them into more of the shape of a dragonfly wing, and I really love the way it is turning out. So I'm going to just be adding these little wing shapes here. I'm just using a glue stick again, and I'm going to be adding those down. So I thought for a long time about what I wanted to use for the bodies of my little dragonflies. And I finally decided I'm going to use some tiny little rickrack trim. And I think it's going to be really sweet for the bodies of my dragonflies. So I'm going to use some Fabrifix just because this is a fabric-y type of trim. Just it dries quickly. There's no special reason other than that I'm using this, other than that it dries quickly, and I know it will hold the rickrack in place. So I'm just putting a little of that on, and I'll pick it up with the tweezers. Might make it a little bit easier. There we go. And then I'm going to just lay it across the top like this. That's so cute. So cute. Okay, so I'm going to add the other two. Okay, for the head of the dragonfly, I'm going to use the top of a brad. I cut the prongs off with a wire cutter. So I put a little pop dot inside, and it kind of still goes concave just a little bit. So I'm going to use some E6000 to attach these little metal pieces. put a little piece of washi tape to hold it in place while it dries, and then I can pull that off once it gets dry. Okay, so everything is getting dry now, and I'm just removing the little pieces of washi tape. There we go. That's so cute. I love it. Okay, but I feel like the outline on the wings is not quite dark enough. I mean, I can see it, but I would like to see it a little bit more. And so I'm going to use the black Posca pen and just go around it just to darken that up a little bit. Yeah, that looks so much nicer. I think they really show up better, and they just pop off of that background so much more. So you can see how you can start something one way, and then if it doesn't work for you, change it. You know, make it work in whatever way you can. I love it. You guys know how much I love dragonflies. If you don't know how much I love dragonflies, go check out my Instagram page. So I've got some dragonfly pictures on there that are really fun. There is a link to my Instagram page in the description of the video. Okay, so now we have the wings and the body and the head. And I just love how they're popping up off that background. That's so fun, so fun. Okay, so I found some words in a catalog, and it just, it's really going to work with this page. The catalog was talking about choosing furniture and, you know, maybe mixing styles and designs and things to create your own look and your own design. And the title on the page, which I thought was really appropriate for this, for my page. Whoops, I dropped one of the words. Oh, let me grab it. Okay. So the title of their page said, Play with Pieces. Isn't that so cool? I mean, I'm playing with pieces, my scrap bits, my scrap pieces, to create these little dragonflies, and I think it's so appropriate. And that just worked out so well. So I'm gonna just glue down these words with the glue stick one more time, and then I'm gonna outline them, and I might put a border on this page. I think it needs a black border. So while my pieces were drying here, I decided I did want the fifth piece of this paper here. I think it helps to carry the look around the page. Originally, I was going to leave all of this in one piece, and so it was going to be one block, and there would be a lot of white behind it. But when I decided to cut it up, I decided that this just really would look better with that, and I think it does. I think it looks a lot more balanced. And so I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to go around my my words here real quick. and the last thing I'm going to do is just put a little bit of this messy scripty stamp in the background, just to add a little bit more in some of these plainer areas. I think that's good. Okay. So there we go, guys. One more page done in the altered book, and I love it. That is just so much fun, being able to use those leaves for something else. That really tickles me. So I hope you guys, if you have some more of your leaf pieces left that you may have cut, or if you choose to take some of your scraps and cut them up into some little shapes to use in your future pieces, do something like this. It's tons of fun. You could also use a little button for the head of the dragonfly. I just didn't have one that was the right size, so I chose to go with the top of the brad, but I just love it. I think it's really fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and that you'll come and join me again for the next video. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.